Before you start watching, just hear me out. I know that a lot of people in the debunking community thinks of Ian as a parody paranormal channel that makes jokes and is in on it. I don't think the same thing. I've never watched Midwest Ghost Hunter before this debunk. I just get the footage and I analyze it and I debunk it as I see it. So please do not be mad at me for this debunk and for how I view Ian. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are debunking Midwest Ghost Hunter. Ian from Midwest Ghost Hunter. I keep struggling with that name, Midwest, because I want to say Mid-Southwest Wales Ghost because of Beardo. That video that he put out, that parody, the paranormal video. But anyway, we're debunking Midwest Ghost Hunter. Thanks to one of you guys that sent it in and with all the timestamps. So let's look at this. But before we do, please go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button. And please, guys, the fans from Midwest Ghost Hunter is going to come in here and leave dislikes. That always happens when we debunk a certain channel. Their fans come in and leave dislikes. So I need you guys to like this video to combat the dislikes. So here we go. Let's look at what he has and make sure to stick around. Even if you're a fan of him and you are here because you want to hate on my video, stick around because we do catch him lying about his things, or we do catch him in the weirdest way. And this is very interesting. So here we go. First clip. So right there, he captures a, right there, he captures something appearing. I'm just going to mute this. And then it disappears. And he pans back and it's gone. So, in order to look at that properly, let's bring in some light. Let's make that stand out. There we go. We can see it now better. So let's look for the start point of that thing fading in. So it starts there. I'm just trying to see at what point this moves separately. Right there. So there we have the thing moving with the background or moving with the lens, and it's not stationary in that one clip there. On that one frame. So for those of you who are fans of him that believes everything he captures is real, that is when you superimpose something onto an already existing video and you have to track your video. So if your lens is moving, whatever you're putting in there, so let's say this is your lens moving across the field and you put something in there, you impose something. If you're not tracking it to go with the lens, or not properly tracking it to the background as the lens is moving, that will move with your lens. And once it moves with your lens, that's when you know that that was superimposed, because your background, it needs to be stationary inside of your background. So as this is moving, that is tracking and staying in that one position. But if there's any frame in there where it moves with it and then stays stationary after that, then you know there was some editing mistakes were made. Well, I have to give him credit because tracking something in a dark spot like that is not easy. But let's keep following this thing. See what happens to it. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit or just bring this to the side so we can keep the center frame. And then it disappears. And it's just gone. It's just gone. So that part where it just, the opacity is slightly dropping on it and then it just in one frame it just disappears. So that is what happens when you do not properly drop your opacity on an image. So I have an image here. This is just to stand out a little bit more. So let me bring you over to the screen. So when you have something, this is your opacity. So I'm going to click opacity keyframe right there. I want the opacity to start going down there. And then I want it to come to about this point and I want it to be gone. Now, so the opacity happens between these 2 points. So if I go from there and as I go along those 2 points, you can see what happens. It gradually fades out and then there's a point where it just disappears. So this point here where it's one frame, where it just disappears, it gradually disappears and then one frame it just gone. That's what's happening in his video. So I'm probably giving fakers the tools to do this, but there's a drop down on your opacity. Click on that drop down and then click on that keyframe. Once you do that, you have these little bars. You can just extend that and then drag it up or down, and that's going to help you to gradually fade out and not to get to that point where it's just one singular frame to the next it's gone, because that makes it look unreal. It's not realistic. So if we go now, keyframe, do you see instead of the point from here to there where it's just gone, there's another point in between that makes it a little bit more realistic. Excuse me. But you can drag that a little bit more to have that process go on a little bit more, and you can bring it up just to bring it more gradually down. So play with your keyframes, make sure you have them correct, because you want that point of disappearing. Let me show you there. You want that point of disappearing not to be immediate. You want, because you're already gradually fading it out, make sure you have it fade out properly. So that's how I know that he faked that, is because he doesn't know how to properly fade out something. Next one. Sorry, let me do this. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, so he says there's disembodied footsteps, but how do they know it's disembodied? How do they know what disembodied footsteps sounds like? Right? Because this is just footsteps that can be clearly heard by him and the camera. So it's not disembodied, it's just footsteps. I think the disembodied is just to make it a little bit more eerie. So we can actually analyze that to see what happened there. So I'm just gonna... So what I'm doing now is I'm just gonna find the point. So from here, I'm gonna mark in. I'm gonna grab that. Up until there. And I'm gonna export that. Just this foot. Export that as an MP3. And I'm gonna throw it in RX Studios. So I'm already working with something here that I want to show you guys. So let's go ahead and grab those footsteps and bring them in. So we have a new clip here. So let's look at the footsteps real quick and let's see if we can figure out what's happening. Okay, so from what I can see here is that the left and right channels, they are capturing the exact same sound at the exact same level. There's no difference in between left and right. So if I just play the left and if I just play the right, It's the same thing. Now this is important, and I'll show you now why. I'll show you now why. So what this tells me is that when he was shooting this, and what you would do, and this tells me you put a little bit of more thought into this. So you would record yourself walking through the forest with the exact same camera that you're using to capture the paranormal. But you will capture two different footages here. You'll have one with you just walking through the forest, have the noise of your feet going through the grass, and then you will come into an editing station and you will unlink the video from that, and you can move this. This is now the footsteps. You can move them freely around, put them where you want them, and then you can overlay them with the footsteps that you, or with the footage, like here, which you want. And because both is capturing the same ambience, the same noise, you're not going to hear the difference. So this is a little bit more difficult to prove to you that this is what's really happening, because you'll have to take my word for it, because I know what I'm talking about. But if you're a big fan of him, you will never trust me on what I just said, and you will take it as him being truthful and not me. So this is definitely fake, but let's move on to the other clips, because they, like I always say, if you're new to the channel, or if you're a fan of Ian, if you fake one part in your video, why should we believe that the rest of everything you captured is real? Why? Why should you fake? If you capture so many paranormal things happening and fake one part of your video, why do you fake that part if everything else is real? So by faking one part, everything is fake. 100%, that is how it works. And we do capture him lying, and I'll show you now, with a recording. But just first, he has an orb. I muted the sound because it was too loud. So there's an orb that flies in and it flies to the side and it's gone.
Did you see that? That looked like an orb.
So with this orb, I did look through it, and this is a little bit more difficult to debunk, to prove to you that this is superimposed. But remember, with the first one, we did capture him as not being completely truthful with this thing that he captured. With that thing. Unless you still believe that is real, then why should we... Then there's no way for me to prove to you that this is fake. This one is a little bit better done. But from stuff that I can see on the screen, it tells me that he used an orb that was floating around on a green screen, and he superimposed that and he removed the green screen. And why I say that is, if we go frame by frame, if we look at the things, you can see some tint of green coming through. But that doesn't mean a whole lot. That's not concrete proof that he faked it, because I need to prove to you that he faked this. But with this one, it's a little bit more difficult. But there's this one part in here that has a straight line that tells me it was an edit. If we look at it over here, like this, there's a straight line and there's a dark black dot that comes through. Just that one frame there tells me that this is an edit. This was a green screen orb used. But I'm not taking that as any evidence for him that faked that orb. But I definitely know that this orb is fake. But I can't prove it 100%. Unless you know editing. If you know editing at all, you would know, okay, yeah, that's an edit. That's an orb that was brought in from a green screen and used, because we have the green tint. You can see the green tint all around here. And then we have that one part with that black dot in the middle. That's clearly an edit, but that's not enough to prove to you that he faked that. So, next clip. This is where I concrete proof that he faked it.
Maiden, if you are here, could you please say something?
Whoa. Did you hear that?
Yes, I did hear that. The way he shoots it, this style, very reminiscent of Piero, but not just that. I think one of his favorite movies is the Blair Witch Project. I think this is where he gets this from. But it gives me more of a scary movie vibe than a Blair Witch Project vibe. But anyway, so let's look at the voice that was captured. So the voice is saying, "Come with me to the lake." So here in RX Studio, I have here that exact voice here. What he's saying, so what he's saying right here.
Could you please say something?
And then the voice, what it says. Wrong screen. I hate it when I do that. I hate it when I give you guys the wrong screen. But here we have
Please say something.
the now this is something very interesting, and this is how I know that this voice is superimposed into the footage. It is added in just by looking at it like this. And some of you guys that work with audio software, you would look at this and recognize it immediately. So he's using the recorder that he's using right here is recording in mono, not in stereo. So what that means, for those of you who don't know, mono is one channel. It's recording one channel, and then so you can't distinguish between left and right. So if I'm recording here and I'm talking on the right side and the left side, with a mono recorder, you would not be able to distinguish me on the left or on the right side of that recorder. It is impossible because it's recording in mono. It's taking all of the sounds, putting it in one channel and playing it like that. Here we can see the left is louder or softer than the right. Okay, so I forgot to show you exactly how I can tell that. If you look at these two images, the top and the bottom, top is left, bottom is right. Between those, the bottom part has a brighter orange where the voice is being picked up. Now, the brighter the orange, the louder the voice. And the softer the orange, which would be here and here, is very soft compared to the bottom one, which is the right side. So that is how I can tell that this was a separate audio used, put in later than what it was put in or captured during the recording itself. And that tells me this was not recorded in field, because like we have this recorder here, which is recording in mono, so both channels would be equally as loud. There's no differentiating. Am I saying that correctly? Between left and right. Because this is what the recorder is doing. And listen to this. If you listen to the left, and listen to the right, much louder. You can't get away with that. There's nothing he can do to explain. There's nothing to explain why a mono recorder is picking up the left channel softer than the right channel. But in the same voice or in the same segment, the mono recorder is picking up his voice exactly as it should, left and right equally as loud. And then just a couple of seconds later, it's picking up this voice, but left to right is not matching. So that is how I know he took a separate sound of him saying that and he imposed that over onto the footage to sound like it's playing there. So definitely fake. 100%. There's nothing you can tell me to change my mind about that. So let's let's see some more.
Eerily quiet. Whoa. Oh, dude. Oh my gosh, that startled the shit out of me.
Okay, so this one I can hear from the beginning that it is, again, superimposed. But this time, what he did was he recorded him separately splashing the water, and then took that recording of him splashing the water and putting it over here and having it play. Well, remember, when you're filming this, you have to plan for this. So I'm going to stand around and go, oh my goodness, what was that? And then right before I freak out, I put my splash sound. So And how I know that this is fake is because when the splash sound is playing, all of a sudden there's a lot of wind as well. Listen, let's do this. So this is the clip that we have. So let's take this clip and put it a little bit that side, and then we will lengthen that. So now we have more of the lake pod, and then you can hear the wind. No wind up until here where the splash sound is starting. Then all of a sudden you have wind noise inside of the mic. So listen now.
Lurking around the reeds over there.
Listen to the spot. Over here you can also see the audio cues. It's quiet. No wind. No wind whatsoever. I'm just going to keep it here so you can see. And then let's zoom in on that a little bit.
Eerily quiet. Whoa.
So the splash sound has a lot of wind noise inside of it. And then as soon as the splash sound stops, the wind noise stops.
Whoa.
Now you could say, no, but he boosted just the splashing part just so you can hear the splash. So let's boost this quiet part over here. Because boosting the sound is not going to introduce wind noise. We have to remember that. Because the wind is affecting the mic itself. The membrane on the mic. And that's why you have that weird wind sound. So just by boosting a clip, just a part of a clip is not going to introduce noise sound. Nothing. Do you hear that? But listen to when the splashing starts.
Whoa.
So this guy is full of it, honestly. And the fact that he plays that off like it just happened. Come on. Anyway, let's finish that. So are you good with that? This was separate recording because you can hear the wind noise in the mic. Anyway.
Oh, dude.
Okay, next clip. Because we're going to be at the lake a while.
That's like a splash. Could have been a fish, to be fair.
Okay. It could have been a fish, right? But it's not a fish. Now, let me just state this real quick. Because a lot of people that believe in this BS, like with the ghost theory guys, about the little black dot dropping down, where the one guy said, it could have been a spider, but really it's not a spider. It's not logic. That's what he said. It could have been. These people that fake their stuff, they say that for the viewer to think that, okay, this guy is debunking as he's going. He's not. He's lying as he's going. So him saying it could have been a fish, it's a lie made up because we just caught him red-handed. He put that sound in after the fact because it has wind noise, but the rest of his clip doesn't have wind noise. So forget about the fact that he said it could have been a fish. Don't tell me in the comment section, yeah, but he's deep. Anyway.
I was also thinking too. Whoa. I just felt a thump.
So this is also quite easy to reenact. So I can make a knocking sound without my body physically showing that I'm making a knocking sound, even though I constantly knock right now on the table.
Thinking too. Whoa.
So I mean that means absolutely nothing to me.
Could you do that again? Holy dude. What the?
He has disembodied voices talking to him. He's like, yeah, this thing invited me to the lake. Let's go to the lake. And now he's knocking on the lake or the dock. And then he freaks out. Like, this is too much for me. I cannot handle this.
What the hell? Oh, dude, that gave me goosebumps. Well, what the? Holy shit.
You see that? That's Blair Witch Project. Anyway. So now let's listen to what he has to say about the splashing. He's looking at the footage.
Alright, so I'm back on the dock. I looked to see what the heck that was that hit the dock.
Oh, he wasn't looking at the footage. He just went to investigate. Sorry. Just went to investigate.
Alright, so I'm back on the dock. I looked to see what the heck that was that hit the dock. And I was right. It was a fish. It was a fish. It's a...
What do you mean you were right? Because it was a second splash and it hit. You never mentioned this again after the first one.
Dead fish. And I don't know that hit the dock. And I was right. It was a fish. It was a fish. It's a dead fish. And I don't know how that happened. I don't know why that happened. I can't show it on YouTube, unfortunately. So I actually kicked it off of the dock.
Wait, so the proof that you had, you can't show on YouTube? Now, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this guy is taking his fans for a complete fool. You can't show a dead fish on YouTube. That's a complete lie. I have 3 channels. I have this one, I have my main channel, and then I have a crime channel. The crime channel, I've shown more gory stuff on there, and nothing happens. Since when can you not show a dead fish on YouTube? He's lying. He just... it's... People, come on. Don't be this blind. He gives you the reason for... Okay, the splashing. You know what splashed? It was a dead fish. But not just dead. It was dead. So dead that I cannot display it on YouTube because it's just dead. Well, that dead fish was splashing around. Can you believe that? And then it landed on the dock. Crazy, I know. But I can't show you any of that because YouTube doesn't allow us to show dead fish. You know what? The algorithm actually freaks out more about you saying dead than showing a dead fish. And that's just the truth of it. So he can't show us the dead fish because...
It wasn't like just dead. It was like dead. It was like... That thing had chunks missing out of it.
Yeah. So he gives us this elaborate thing. It was a dead fish with chunks out of it, splashing in the water. It jumped onto the dock. It attacked me. It bit my foot clean off. But I can't show you the dead fish because YouTube doesn't allow it. So sorry, you can't see it. He's lying. Ladies and gentlemen, he's lying. Now, the dead fish on the dock. Now, would we have heard, after the splashing, a thump?
Well, what the...
And once again...
Me goosebumps. Well, what the...
So we have wind noise now.
Oh, dude, that gave me goosebumps.
And then it switches camera angles, right? So this is probably a while later. We don't know. No wind noise whatsoever. Because when it's sitting just like this, we should have heard wind noise if there's wind. The wind doesn't just start moving when you move your camera. The wind is there, right? So this is a while later. No wind noise. Splashing starts with wind noise. And then wind noise is gone again. But we don't hear any from here. I'm gonna take this into RX. Because let's because I know this guy's lying, but I want to see if we can see a thump happening on the dock. So you still guys still seeing what I have here in front of me, so that's fine. Because we're going to RX right now. Oh man, you know, I get so annoyed with people that fake their stuff, but so stupidly. That I don't know why. It just annoys the hell out of me. Anyway, so here we have the wind noise. What is that? There's no thump. Well, we have that, but that looks like a penis anyway. What the with a clunk makes a penis. Now we know. If you ever wondered visually what the and then in between clunk, if you ever wondered visually what that would look like, it looks like a penis. I want to see that penis spot. I want to see what happens there. So he doesn't do anything specific. Okay, he doesn't do anything specific. So you can see that's Do you see the line over here? That's the music. Constant.
What the?
I wonder if he...
What the?
Because it's difficult to prove that he put in a sound that make this...
What?
To make this sound. It's difficult to prove that this is something that he did. Actually it is. Listen how clean that is. Yeah, listen how clean that is. Listen to his what? Listen to how dirty that is, because you can hear the in there. And on this side, after the thump. You can hear that sound. But then we have just the thump. Listen how clean that is. The thump is super clear. So that thump, he clearly had a couple of sticks and he just banged it on the studio table or something. Super clear compared to the rest. Because you can hear, even with his loud gasping, you can hear that noise in there. But just the thump alone, super clear. So yeah, definitely fake. There was no thump. But probably that. That is his explanation for how this dead fish appeared on the dock. Anyway, with the wind noise and all those. Nah, this guy's a liar. Oh man. The crazy thing is, people believe this. Okay, so dead fish. Okay, you can't show it on YouTube. Next clip.
Splash sound. Again.
Okay, I think he enhanced the splash sound in his editing software. Just enhanced it so you can better hear it, because you can clearly hear that it's elevated. You hear that? There's an elevation to it. So I think he did that on purpose, just so you guys could hear it more clear. But is it in between other? I don't know if it's...
Splash sound. Again.
So there is wind noise for him currently at the time.
Splash sound. Again.
So that's just probably just used old footage and put that over there. Okay, but fake anyway.
I don't know. Like I said, it could be fish, it could be something. Did you fucking hear that?
So now we have a moaning.
Like I said, it could be fish, it could be something.
Okay, let's... I think it's best we take that sound into RX as well. So let's export that and we will say splash moan. Splash moan. Export that. This is a bit of a long one. I'm sorry for that, guys, but it is just how it is. So let me get you on that screen there. And let's take the splash moan and get that in. So... you could. This is where the moan happens, by the way. But super consistent, not happening there. Remember what I shown you here? Look at the straight line there for the music coming in. That's the music. So here we have the moan. Look at what it's following. It's following the exact same line. So I'm not saying it's the same soundtrack. I'm just saying that look at it. It's super consistent. This is not happening at the time of recording. This is put in the studio. He looked for a moan and he put that in there. Because you can clearly see that happening, right?
Did you fucking hear that?
I wonder if we can hear him moan.
Like I said, it could be fish, it could be something.
Well, anyway, this is the moan, but clearly faked. It stands out like a sore thumb. It's not blending in between the rest of what's happening, the ambience, everything. Like, look, yes, his voice is standing out here, but it's blending in a little bit more to the background noise.
I don't know. Like I said, it could be fish, it could be something.
And then you get to this moan, and just boom, just stands out like a sore thumb. Definitely put in after the fact. It's actually funny. Anyway, let me get you here. Are you shushing the ghost? Because the ghost will kick your ass. What the hell is that? I mean, he's shushing the ghost. I don't know who he's shushing, but I think he's shushing the ghost. Let's look at that sound clip, guys. Come on. Let's figure out what's happening with that sound clip, because that's just ridiculous. So I'm going to put you back on here. I just want to capture just that. Okay, so let's export that. And we will say, because that's what he's doing. Shushing the ghost. Let's bring this in to the studio, yeah. And this is this. Okay, so this is the sound. Man, it looks like a rib cage. See that? Crazy. But okay, so this is playing equally as loud, both. It's not being recorded from a mono. With this, I can't prove 100% that he faked this. There's something else happening here that we're not seeing here, though. Do you see this top part? It's not happening here. Why? What's happening here in this part over here? And what's happening down here? What's happening here? But it's not happening here on top. It's not happening here. It's going to take me a while to figure this one out, so I'm not going to bore you to death with this, but so this is speaking down in the noise, but it's clear. So what I mean by that is it is down at the bottom here with the rest of the noise happening. And you see in between his sh and the wind, there's this noise part that's just quiet down here. So this is happening within that area. So this is happening very softly, but it stands out a lot. Which is not normal. It shouldn't stand out that much happening that softly. So it's very clear as day, but it's happening down there. It's very soft. So this tells me it was brought in after the fact. It's not happening. It wasn't recorded during the happening of the rustling in the reeds. So let's see what else happens here.
Oh, what the
Okay.
Oh, what the Oh God! Oh God! Oh God!
Okay.
Oh, what the?
Okay, so here we have this figure appearing. So let's get some light onto that, because I want to see it a little bit better. Because bringing in light can also show me a lot of things. It's not just to see better, but it exposes the fake, right? So bringing the light will set you free, buddy.
Oh, what the?
Okay. So this is appearing. So it starts as pixels. And look at where it's lying. The pixels is over the reeds. It's not behind. It's over the reeds here. So this is just him bringing in a picture after this was happening and just smacking it in there, saying, "Yep, this is what I saw." But you can see it's over the reeds. It's not behind. It's on top. But he wants you to believe that was standing in between the reeds, like, "Hello, sir. I'm here to haunt you." But it's on top of the reeds. It's sitting right on it. It's overlaid on top of the reeds. Yeah, no, it's 100% fake. Yeah, 100% fake. But let's hear what he has to say about that.
Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and try an EVP session, see if I can get any voices. If there's any spirits here with me, could you tell me your name? Why do you haunt this cemetery? Alright, let's listen back.
If there's any spirits here with me, could you tell me your name? Why do you haunt this cemetery?
There sounded like a little something there.
Okay. You guys already know what we're going to do. We're going to discover this if this is really true. So, let's bring you over here. So this is the
Why
part.
do you haunt this cemetery?
Let's cut both sides. So we're just going to take both of these and export, and we're going to call it woods. Woods 1, and let's bring it in and see what that was.
If there's any spirits here with me, could you tell me your name? Why do you haunt this cemetery?
Can you guys see a pattern here? Look at what his voice looks like. I don't think this is going to be concrete proof for anybody, but look at his tone, what visually his tone looks like.
Why do you haunt this cemetery?
And look at visually what the tone looks like visually of My Soul is in the Woods. Right? So visually, those two looks exactly the same. The same patterns, following the same patterns. Look at the noise. The noise, you see where the noise is? This is the noise running there. Or not the noise, that's, well, not the ambience, that's the recorder, that constant of the recorder. That's that. So look at the noise profile running through that, and look at the loudness of both of these, of where they sit. This is perfect, right? So this happened on the recorder itself. So this was not done afterwards. This was happening on the recorder the day of. So there's a lot of cuts that happens when he does this part. So somewhere he said, my soul is in the woods, but whispered it, my soul is in the woods. Just like that. And then he put that in to while editing, because you can see it follows the exact same tone. It follows the exact same. Everything is the same. Look at him speaking and look at the ghost speaking. It's the exact same voice that's happening here.
Why do you haunt this cemetery?
It's the exact same. That's his voice. Maybe not concrete evidence for most of you guys, but I can clearly hear, I can clearly see it. That's his voice.
It sounded like a little something there. Let me listen again.
Why do you haunt this cemetery?
And you know he edits those parts because look, he says I'm going to listen to it again. Look what happens frame by frame. He pulls it up to listen to it, and then there was a cut, and then it happens again. So clearly he's editing these parts. So probably somewhere in there is where he did the cut of my soul is in the wood. And he had to take it out, and that's where, because he just listens to it.
It sounded like a little
And there's a cut there. There's a cut here. There's the cut.
It sounded like a little.
And then there's another cut. But he just finished it. It sounded like a little something there. I'm going to listen back to it. It's be one continuous, but they are cuts. Why? But anyway, there's still a couple of things that happen, but I'm not going to debunk all of it. We've done so much already. In my opinion, 100% he's fake. His acting is not that great. His storytelling sucks. His made-up story sucks about the fish on YouTube. And then you can clearly see that he's superimposing his ghosts, his orbs, his sounds that he's capturing. Everything is just fake. Midwest Ghost Hunter is 100%, in my opinion, with the proof that I have right in front of me, 100% this guy is fake with everything he does. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm tired. I'm done now. I've been recording for an hour. This video is probably not going to be an hour, but we'll see. But that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. See you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.